All right, long overdue. A Voltrove 30 V2 LE postless deck going down. Let's do this. All right, so first question, right? How do we determine our leg length, right? We've got a 4mm coil, but we need to know how much to take off. So I usually start a little bit long and work my way down. That way I don't end up with a coil with legs that are too short. It just makes sense. So we're going to start at 5mm. See how we look. Five millimeters, a little long yet. I'm going to go down to 4.5mm. We'll see how that looks. That to me looks perfect. We're going to position that after, but 4.5mm should be money. We're letting this air dry out a bit, but you can see here, you see your coil, there's room. That's what we're after. You want to make sure you got adequate clearance. So everything's pointing to a green light. So we're going to grab our other coil. We're going to snip that down. I will say 7 wrap is a little overkill. It's a little wide. This is a 2636 and 80. Going for a DNA build. Okay. When I tighten coils in a postless deck, I always put my finger on top and I apply downward pressure on the coil. Don't need to super overkill it. Snug plus a little quarter turn is always good. Busy house. I apologize, as always. Let's get our 4mm. Gonna position our coils. Okay, we're gonna double check again, pick these up. Plenty of clearance. Okay, now to break them in. Start out right at 35 watts. New resistance, accept. This is a 7 wrap on a 4 mil. Should clock in at a 0.25. Temp protect. Okay, for anybody that watches this video, if you put a pair of coils in, you say, man, I keep getting temp protect. Go into your settings, go into atomizer, go into measure, click measure. Our resistance just went from 0.10 to, or 0.15 to 0.10. Back to your main screen, and now we're firing. So the DNA 250Cs, not all of them do it. Some of them do. They can be a real pain in the ass. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no way to sugarcoat it. That's legit. They can be a pain in the ass. So you might find yourself having to repeat those steps a few times throughout the process. It's completely normal. It is what it is. Okay, now we're going to read them again. 0.26. Shazam. We're going to go up in wattage. Go from 35 to 70. Everything looks really good. Just trying to clean them up a little bit. That usually causes hot spots as well. Okay, let's bump it up again. Okay. Everything looks great. Time to wicker on up. Grab a sheet of cotton. Okay. Formal coil. Cut our pattern about there. For a 4 mil coil, I use a strip that's right about 3/8 of an inch in width. Okay. Now, our length of cotton, we're going to just hold the strip down, put the scissors underneath the deck, cut straight across. Repeat over here, straight across. Spin it. Okay, let's go ahead and thin, well, fluff. Okay, nothing too crazy. Snip, snip. Now, when we look at it from the side, that cotton hits the O-ring, right? It's not too long. This one we can take a little bit from. That one we can take a little bit from. So, let's check again. Perfect. All you're gonna do, bring it up a little bit, get it in the wick port. That's it. Don't fidget with it too much. Don't push it down. Just get it in there. So, let's repeat. The guys that are gonna bury the cotton in there and push it down, you're gonna choke it out. It's not gonna wick, and you're gonna wonder why you have dry hits. So long as you have adequate cotton, 3.5 to 4 millimeter in diameter, for duals, you're not going to have an issue with wicking. So let's get this juiced up. We'll take it back up top. Alright, back up top. Just got her filled up. Slap on the top cap. Open up our JFC and give her a go. One last remeasure of resistance, even though, yep, down to a 0.24, 0.24, 0.25. Got plenty of bubbles. Fresh coils, fresh cotton. We'll work our way up here a little bit. Tell you, it really doesn't matter what deck you run in this. Velocity has a little bit more room. It can fit an extra wrap. A little bit easier for the most part to build on, in my opinion. For this deck, ideally a 26-36 6 wrap would be a drop-in fit. 7 wrap, as you saw, is a little overkill. But at 170 watts, I dare to say that this is one of the best performing 30mm tanks there is. I've ran them all. For all-out vaping pleasure. this thing is the fucking bee's knees. Doesn't matter if it's velocity or postless stack. To be honest, the postless stack at 4.5 mil legs, you can actually see, it's hard to see. Yeah, we're not gonna see, but actually, hold on. You can see just under the coil. So that means that you're getting air under the coil, up through the center of them. Right up the chimney, straight in the mouth hole. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Sitting at 170, take it up to 200. Starting to get some warmth. 225. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. It just keeps going. The Postless actually has a little bit less restriction than the Velocity deck, in my opinion. You could cut the legs a little shorter at 3.5 and kind of reduce the airflow a little bit because you wouldn't be getting as much under the coil. But for max airflow, 4.5 is key. So let's do some chain rips. 225 watts. Let's see what boost is on. I normally don't run boost. No boost. So 225. We'll chain rip it. Okay, for anybody keeping track, that was 25 seconds of consecutive rips. Back to back to back to back to back to back. Every single hit was exactly the same. Consistent, juicy, dense, moist, not dry. So, Postless decks historically are either a win right out of the box or you gotta fight with them a little bit. This is zero exception. If you go too long with the cotton and you stuff too much in there, it's going to be drier. It's going to be mute. It's going to struggle to wick. If you go too light, you're going to leak. But follow this. Make sure your cotton falls at the O-ring. Make sure you don't stuff it in the juice well. And you just lift and set it in. And with 3.5 or 4 millimeter coils, you're going to have plenty of cotton in there for this method to work every single time. Food for thought. This is the first time I've ran the Postless stack. So it's no different than 35 LE with the Postless stack. Same thing. Man, that's good. I'm gonna get off of here and enjoy this. Peace. Hopefully it helped.